Now on Food Fighters on NewsX tonight, a show where we fight frauds and fakes and shrinkflation over the most important thing in our lives, the food we eat. We're discussing a shocking food safety scandal rocking Bengaluru's luxury hospitality industry today. Food safety officials have conducted surprise raids on several 3-star and 5-star hotels across the city. What they found was deeply disturbing. Expired milk, rotten vegetables with fungal growth, expired meat, fish, chicken and bakery products all stored in kitchens of some of the city's most premium hotels. Hotels including the Lalit, Ashok, Shangri-La, Four Seasons, Taj, Yashwantpur, Vivanta, Whitefield and Radisson Blue Atria were amongst those inspected. Hundreds of kilograms of unsafe food were seized and destroyed. This is the question on every diner's mind tonight. We're paying thousands, sometimes lakhs of rupees for a meal at these 5-star hotels. We trust the brand, the star rating, the polish, the presentation. Yet even these establishments are now being caught serving or storing expired and unhygienic food. Is the 5-star tag just a price tag, or does it still guarantee basic food safety? Well, joining us live to look at this in greater detail is a special panel. I'll begin with you first, Harish Pejur, brand guru, who joins us live. Harish, thanks for being with us today. If 5-star restaurants are operating to such standards, what do we as consumers expect from other outlets, Harish?
Oh, well, a very important thing in branding, and particularly in eating out and in partaking of any product, is trust. And I do believe a 5-star hotel is meant to be the gold standard of that trust. I think what's happened in Bengaluru and in parts of Karnataka today with the food department actually visiting these restaurants is unfortunate, because one would imagine that a 5-star hotel is going to be that much more careful than anyone else, because the gold standard of eating out is meant to be a 5-star hotel.
Right. Now, what action should be taken against these 5 stars to set an example, though, Mr. Bijur?
Well, I don't think any action needs to be taken against the 5-star hotels which have where you have seen what's happened. You just need to direct a mandate out which warns everybody and says that, you jolly well be good, because there are several stages in food handling. One is food procurement, where do you procure from? Expiry dates, to say that how long is the food okay? And thirdly, handling. How do you handle the food? How do you refrigerate it? How do you maintain it post getting stuff in? And of course, food preparation. So I think across these entire stages, it's extremely important for people to be watchful and careful. I think what has been exposed is enough of a punishment for all the 5-star hotels. Now, everybody will pull up their act. I do believe they will.
Okay. Do you think then aggressive food department action is enough? What more can we do?
Well, I think, nobody from outside should control the way a restaurant actually handles its food. Actually, restaurants respect people. And, every restaurant that prepares food is very, very careful to ensure that whatever you give out to people is good quality stuff, and people come back to you and they come back and remain healthy. And I think that is the mandate of a food business. Entire city of Bengaluru, if you look around, I work with a whole lot of restaurateurs, I work with a whole lot of food chains, etc. Everybody has this ethos of good food, good quality, and the good of the consumer in mind. I don't think that is out of league, but some things have happened. They need to be corrected. The bigger issue is, there is the 5-star hotel, which is meant to be the gold standard, and then you go down, down, down. We have, restaurants, and Bengaluru is becoming the restaurant capital of India. Eating out is becoming that much more a regular habit. There are lots of young people who eat out at least 7 times a week. That is, 7 meals a week, which means literally 3 days they're eating out. We have to be careful because, every restaurant needs to be paranoid about quality. Going back to Andy Grove, only the paranoid shall survive.
Yes. Now, from Mumbai to Hyderabad to Bengaluru, we are seeing a common thread, Mr. Bijur. Is there a coordinated and aggressive war now on fake foods, you believe, that is happening in our metros, at least right now?
Well, I think, these are habits that come on, switch on. It's a toggle switch habit. Governments, governance structures, switch it on and then switch it off. But as I said, self-governance is the best governance. Every food entrepreneur in this country, every food app in this country, every restaurant of any kind, whether it be a Darshini restaurant or a five-star hotel restaurant, must, take the pledge to say that this is a food business and this is God's business. It's about feeding people. When you feed people, you need to feed them with good quality stuff, handled well, with the good of the person eating it in mind. I think this is an Indian ethos here. Every home kitchen has this ethos. I think the ethos of the home kitchen needs to come on to the business kitchens of the day.
And what is your advice to fellow consumers, Mr. Bijul?
Oh, fellow consumers, I think consumers must always be careful because they let the consumer be aware, okay? Not beware, but be aware. Extremely critical for you to be demanding in the kind of food quality you get. And if you get shoddy quality, please complain. Because if you don't complain and if you just switch off and say, this restaurant serves me bad food, you're doing disservice to society, guys. Because another person is going to go there and eat there, and that person may get shoddy service and shoddy food. And I think, therefore, being aware is a very important consumer task. And talk about it, guys.
Yes. All right, Harish Bijur, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast with your perspective on this big story. Let me also now rope in Revati Ashok, CEO of BPAC, who's live with us. Also, Dr. P.S. Venkatesh Rao, senior doctor, joins us. Sanjay Sai, former ADGP of Karnataka, is also joining us on the broadcast. Revati Ashok, as a citizen of Bengaluru and as a consumer yourself, what do you make with this shocking violation that has come to light?
Yeah, I fully agree with Harish, my friend Harish Bijur, that trust is a very important aspect when you deal with food because people are trusting you with their health and everything. And increasingly, as you said, in now it's Bangalore, it's Hyderabad, it is Mumbai. Last week it was Mumbai finding analog paneer being sold and then it being banned, which is absolutely very, very bad for health. So I think there are multiple dimensions to this problem. One dimension is this industry is seeing a lot of churn because especially in places like Bangalore where a lot of restaurants are mushrooming up every other day. There is a lot of churn. So even if, as Harish said, people don't want to intentionally serve bad food, but then, when you have I'm not making an excuse. When you have a lot of turnover, the training that you have given to one person, by the time the next person comes on, that training, the person has moved on and this industry is facing a lot of attrition. So I think more rigorous training, continuous education of the employees, that the customer comes first, the customer trust is absolutely paramount. These are things that they must continuously reinforce. Of course, a lot of these organizations, all these are big names. They have internal audit teams that do regular inspections of their own. And it is unfortunate that something like this has happened. My sense is if they did a countrywide raid on all of these, you would find many more such skeletons coming out. So we just have to up our ante and say, whatever we are doing is not good enough. We may be 5-star, we may be doing things well, but we need to be better and better. And 99% is not good enough. 99.99% is good. And I think we have to work with that philosophy. We also have to, it's a slightly different one, but when you look at this analog paneer, I'm sure a lot of analog paneer is finding its way into the market here. They may not have yet done the testing if they have found it in Mumbai. You have to catch hold of those vendors who are supplying all these things, because I don't think any of these good restaurants are actually willingly ordering these kinds of things, fake things.
Okay.
But
Okay.
when there is cost
Yes.
cost pressure, some cheap substitutes will be added. So all these vendors also must.
But
be
who is
taken
it
to
coming at a
task.
cost of? Who is it coming at a cost of? It's coming at the cost of you and mine health. And that is the shocking part. How can people's, citizens, consumers' health be compromised if costs have to be cut, as you're saying, Revati Ashok? Now stay with us, hold that thought, because I'll take that to Dr. P.S. Venkatesh Rao. You're a doctor, you know very well what kind of illnesses people can get by eating expired food, unhygienic food, Dr. Rao. What do you make of this development, this big story coming in from your home city, both as a citizen of Bengaluru, but also as a medical professional yourself, knowing fully well the risks to people's stomach and health and other organs that they may face by eating such food?
Good evening. My home city, Bangalore, it was in 1960s that MTR introduced the concept of open kitchen. That means the customers could see what was going on in the kitchen. And this concept has been taken ahead by various other restaurants. We have two, even RW Marriott in Bangalore now has a open kitchen. The concept of the open kitchen is that either it is really open to view, or there is a glass which keeps the noise and smoke and the smell of the kitchen away, but through the glass you can see, and the whole kitchen is well lit so that the cleanliness and the hygiene is seen. This concept was originally introduced by MTR in the 1960s here in Bangalore, but there are restaurants in Delhi, Bombay, etc., who are doing this. This is one concept that they can do. Secondly, nowadays everything is controlled by IoT in most of these restaurants. That means the temperature of the freezer, the heating, the time, and the quality check, everything. So why not have a central control room like the traffic police have, where the FSAI can keep a continuous watch, and you can have like the fire alarm alarm system which goes off if either the freezer has malfunctioned or there has been a mix-up. Any of this can be automated, and we are the tech capital of India. This can be completely automated, because though the restaurants may be well intentioned, but if these things are happening in 5-star hotels, actually it is less in the street vendors, because everything is open there. Whereas if it is happening in these 5-star hotels and other bigger hotels, we need to have an automated system, because they know very well that the FSAI teams can't be visiting them daily to see what they are doing. So have an open kitchen system and have this monitored central monitoring system. This way, the trust of the public will be restored. I know a lot of people who are now very reluctant to go to any of these restaurants. They actually are trusting the street food more than these restaurants. And there is that common feeling that much of this stale food is recycled in the form of tikkis and mixed vegetable curry and cutlets, etc. So, and if there is fungus in it, most of these restaurants are dimly lit. You won't even be able to make out what it is. I have personal experience of landing up with a parasitic infection in a 5-star hotel in Delhi, and also landing up with loose motions in a 5-star hotel in Karnataka. So I would definitely be happy if the open kitchen system is encouraged, and there is a central automated quality control.
Sanjay Sahai, what action should such establishments face under the law if found errant, if this is proven, as of course these teams have uncovered? Also, do you appreciate this action that is being taken in Bengaluru and of course in other in other metros as well in the country, where this crackdown is happening on on fake food, on expired food, on unhygienic conditions?
See, the rot is pretty deep, and it is way beyond which has come to light. It is generally accepted today that you are getting stale food all around the place. If Shangri-Las and Ashoks, they cannot do things in the right manner with the nature of departments and audit and inspections and variety of other things, which is the bill is finally passed out to the customer, I don't think the other people would all even be interested in doing that. The panelists before me, I think two things which I literally object to is that self-governance. Self-governance has not delivered in this country and it will not deliver. And second part is that every restaurant owner and every hotel owner, so they have that sort of integrity that they will not indulge into things of the things of the nature of which we are seeing right there. Now, as far as these rates are concerned, rates are very, very welcome. But this is just a flash in the pan and might be the Food and Drug Administration, which is generally non-existent. They appear somewhere onto the scene to prove basically that they exist and they can literally bite anybody. That is nearly all which they tend to do. Your Food and Drug Administration Act of 2006, the rules were made in 2011. Currently, the state of affairs in Karnataka, that there is no institutional capacity itself. I think some 60-70% of the posts are vacant. And they are to do from sample to testing to even carry the cases at the prosecution stage. So this is the nature of things which is happening. 30% of the, I think, food establishments are registered, rest are not registered. The law itself is pretty weak, which primarily means that these things end with fine. Now, when you're playing with people's health and the law dictates or law provides for only fine, I don't know where you will end up. End of the day, the inspections happen once in a year or once in 2 years. So that is the maximum which they can do. And the institutional capacity and the general frame of mind. How many times I was just trying to check up. These hotels were inspected and there is no information. Food and drug station came together and might be is the same in other states also or most of the states. I don't think it will be anything worthwhile. The problem of this whole setup is that you make laws with some imagination of an enforcement mechanism and that enforcement mechanism does not exist. I'm still not sure of the fact whether the laboratories and the technical capability of the food and other officers connected to this particular enterprise would be of that capability where you can deliver. So one is the institutional capacity, second is the weakness of the, third is that basically these private businesses have realized that this government thing is not going to run for long and it will be a flash in the pan, and as other panelists have also been talking about. So when there is a new officer or a new government which comes into existence, they try doing a couple of these things. I think we also had a drive in Bangalore where in these road push carts and what, they have been removed. I think the very next day in my locality, the pan also came back and the fruit pill also came back. I don't know for whom we are doing this. And the whole exercise is very frankly, it turns out to be a media exercise. And we keep talking. Actually, inside the organization,